This episode of the Wayang Crew podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Welcome back to another episode of the Wayang Crew podcast. It's me, Kev, as usual, your host on this podcast where we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei Darussalam. First up, it's my co-host, it's Tibby.
Hey.
What's up?
Been busy writing my material.
Yeah, we have a show coming up this week for Brouhaha Comedy. So if you are one of our attendees, please come.
Yeah, tickets are still up. So contact us, I guess. If you want tickets.
Yeah, that's true. All right, up next is the co-host of the podcast. It's Khai.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Nothing. I had a show last night which I bombed spectacularly at.
That's what you say.
Every
no.
single time.
I have evidence from other people going, yeah, what happened?
Really?
Yeah, there was 3 other people, so I'm not making this up.
Aha.
We shall wait and listen to these other people.
If anything, I would have to say you look very fresh today.
Ah, thanks.
Yeah.
I got rid of my beard, washed my hair.
Okay.
Got rid of my beard, washed my hair. I think the second thing you said is an everyday thing.
Sure.
All right, this week we are giving you a double quick review. It's going to be a short episode. We will be talking about Yesterday, which is a movie from Danny Boyle, and also the re-release of Avengers End Game, which has hit local cinemas here in Brunei. And we know why this is happening. They just need to, catch up to the biggest movie of all time, Avatar. Although I'm still not convinced that it is going to happen. Anyway, let's get to the first bit of the show, which is the news. As usual, we got some trailers this week. We got a trailer for Charlie's Angels. It's a reboot.
And it's being directed by Elizabeth Banks.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Rita Repulsa herself.
it's and in the movie, it's the Pink Ranger, Naomi Scott.
Yeah.
Yes, she's like the latest angel, I guess, who joins the group.
It's interesting because this feels like, obviously it's to celebrate and empower women in fiction and film. And I was just looking at a soundtrack list, and apparently Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande, and Lana Del Rey made a song for this. It's, I believe, I could be wrong, produced, written, and directed by Elizabeth Banks, starring Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the other actress.
New actress.
Yeah. It's blowing my mind that how much talent is contributing to this movie. So I'm very intrigued.
Ella Balinska.
Ah, that's it.
Where's she from?
I have no idea. But from the name, she sounds like she's Eastern European by descent, maybe.
Has she been in any movies?
I don't know. We'll have to IMDb this later. It's set to come out on November 15th this year, so we've got a couple of months to go. I mean, I have to say the trailer it's fresh. It's something a bit different from what we've been getting over the last couple of years, which is just comic book movies upon comic book movies. There's a bit of comedy in this. Patrick Stewart's in this.
But what?
No, yes,
Charlie?
No, he's not Charlie.
He's the...
I don't know what he is, but he says he's there for like one shot in the trailer.
Yeah. He plays a very famous role.
It's not Bosley, but that's Elizabeth Banks, right?
Is that?
Yeah, Bosley is Elizabeth Banks in this.
Yes, Elizabeth Banks is Bosley.
So they changed all the...
Oh, Patrick Stewart's Bosley too.
Oh, okay, so it's
so
like a
change.
so it's a change of
maybe
person from a guy to a...
passing the baton.
Yeah.
It's like Moneypenny in James Bond. It's not a name, it's a position.
It's like a code, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Bill Murray the first Bosley in that...
the previous one?
Yeah, the previous set of Charlie...
the one with
movies.
Drew Barrymore and...
Charlie's... not Charlie's.
It's
Cameron Diaz.
That's it.
And Lucy Liu. Yeah.
I don't remember. I really don't.
I think he was. Anyway, Toy Story 4, which is a movie we talked about last week right here on the podcast. It's a good movie. If you haven't checked it out, it's still showing here in local Brunei cinemas. It has slaughtered Chucky at the box office.
Slaughtered Chucky, yeah.
I'm
not surprised.
That's funny.
Yeah, so, I mean, I praised Chucky and the Child's Play movie because of their marketing, their viral marketing that they were doing. They had posters where they were slaying... the characters from Toy Story, and it's very obvious that they were taking a dig at it, and Toy Story, without having to address it, has just won by a landslide.
That's the best they can do.
Yeah. All right.
We win at adverts.
Okay.
But the budget, I mean, there's a huge budgetary difference and a franchise difference, right? Because I believe Child's Play was made for like 10 million only. Yeah.
So it had a really small budget.
Tiny. It's a franchise that's honestly just a cult classic at this point.
And how much was Toy Story?
Toy Story is north of like 50 to 70 mil.
All right. Maybe even more than that if you count marketing,
Yeah. So I kind of get it. Like Child's Play easy would have broken even.
All right. There is a report that Ezra Miller's Flash movie will film after Fantastic Beasts 3, which he's in, by the way.
Yeah, I there's so much drama with that Flash movie.
It's like this movie is doomed before it's even begun. Like there were scripts and there were screenplays and then they were just thrown out.
Switching directors, there was switching writers. At one point, Grant Morrison, who's a huge comic book writer and just a great writer, was on board to write it, and I don't even know what happened to that.
I don't know. Is it put on the back burner for now?
I think so. I think while DC figures out what to do with their world
franchise.
Yeah.
I think they just need to concentrate on telling a good story because that's what they've been lacking.
Yeah.
They're slowly finding their way, especially with Shazam, which is one of the better ones. It's lighter.
Still hit and miss to me.
Still
Shazam. I really liked it.
I love Shazam.
Sorry, just to backtrack. I just checked out the budget for Toy Story. It's about 150.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Yeah, Child's Play was 10 mil.
Okay. Wow, that's like a 15-time difference.
Yeah.
All right. So
Child's Play already made profit. It's like at 30-40 million.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're still happy, I guess.
Yeah.
We will see more of these movies. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Remember a couple of weeks ago we spoke about how there were rumors that there was going to be a Matrix 4?
Yes.
All right. So that was sort of proven to be not true. But now the rumors are back and they suggest the Wachowskis will direct and they might be tapping Michael B. Jordan to play the new protagonist.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan has proven himself more than once.
Would Michael B. Jordan want to be in it, though?
In The Matrix?
It's a big franchise.
Yeah.
It's big enough.
It's big. I mean, I don't remember this trilogy at all. I don't remember the story.
I remember the first one.
I remember all three.
And then the second one, there was a highway chase scene.
Yep.
And then the third one...
The third one was Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So exactly after that, like, would Michael B. Jordan want to be in it?
If they pay him enough. I
guess
so.
I mean, he okay, not that he had a choice, but he was in Fantastic.
No, that's true. He was Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
Who's Johnny Blaze?
Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider.
Oh, no. I'm confused. They both light up, though. Yeah. Thor Ragnarok's director, Taika Waititi, is set to join a Flash Gordon animated film. Do you know Flash Gordon?
No idea.
I actually grew up on that.
You grew up on Flash Gordon?
Yeah. The original 80s one. Flash! That was so good. It's actually a 1930s pulp serial character who had TV serials where he was a football superstar in his high school and he got transported to a different world where, he has to save the planet from Ming the Conqueror, I think. It's
Asian?
Unfortunately, yeah. So it's, it didn't age that well, but it's a cult classic, Flash Gordon.
It's kind of like a space opera kind of thing where they tell serial stories like every week kind of thing. I don't know. It's Taika, so I guess whatever he does is kind of good.
Yeah, Ming the Merciless. That's what it's
There you go, Ming the Merciless. All right, I'm on board. Let's watch this. Danny Boyle, who is the director of the movie we're talking about today, Yesterday. Well, no, I mean, not today, yesterday. Anyway, never mind. The movie's called Yesterday. He had 2 movies come out, I think in the late 90s and in the mid 2000s, and it's from the 28 Days Later, I guess I could say franchise.
Yeah.
He's coming back to work on a third film.
Oh, really?
So it was 28 days later, and then it was 28 weeks later. So
28 months.
I'm guessing it's months or 28. No, it can't be years.
28.
It could be
28 months, maybe.
Months, yeah. Maybe.
28
I have not seen either of those movies.
seconds.
It's a viral outbreak where they end up like zombies and they run and they're very vicious. So the first one centers around London.
Mm-hmm. So he's got Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, the guy wakes up and he's not affected by the virus and he's wondering like what happened because he was in the hospital. So London's, I guess, burned to the ground. And then in the second one, it's more of the counties outside of London. And at the end of 28 months later, 28 weeks, 28 weeks later, they have a shot of the zombies running around and they've reached France now. So then I guess this will just expand on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
To like
To
Eastern
28
Europe
months.
and Russia and...
Yeah, that makes sense if it's 28 months.
Yeah, that's like 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd watch it. Yeah, sure, whatever. Fast and Furious 9, which is a movie that I don't know if...
Which is a movie that nobody asked for, nobody cares about, and nobody will watch.
But you say that having the last two films break $1 billion at the box office, they can't not make a number 9. Vin Diesel and
Dwayne Johnson.
No, Dwayne Johnson will never appear in the franchise anymore.
What after?
No, because drama. He had problems with Vin Diesel on set
for the last movie.
Yeah,
last 2. No,
I think 2.
Last 2.
The last 2
It
movies.
started last 2, the last 2, and then
and
the
it got
last
really
one,
bad on Fast and Fury 8.
Yeah,
and then
Fate of the Furious.
Then they never got into
so he just spinned off while still being in that world, and Vin Diesel will lead the next saga.
Anyway, the news is that this movie has begun filming, and there's like a little Instagram video where Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez say, "Oh, thank you for being fans, and we're working on the next one. Hope you like it," and that's it.
Yeah, nobody cares. I hate this franchise with such a burning passion.
Until it breaks another 1 billion.
Yeah, but
mark.
you know, like
You'd still hate it. I mean,
Transformers 4 broke $1 billion.
Don't remind me. Speaking of breaking at the box office, Avengers End Game. I know it's like a weird thing that's happening now. There's a re-release that's happening worldwide for I think like a week only. They're re-showing it again in cinemas. And frankly, I know why they're doing it, although I don't see the creative point to this. Regardless of that, we are getting a home video release, and the dates are 30th of July for a digital release and 13th of August for a physical home media release.
Yeah.
So,
What's this again?
Avengers End Game.
Oh, okay.
The Blu-ray and
Blu-rays and box sets and everything. So get your wallets ready because August is going to be a great month.
I'm actually really excited to get that on Blu-ray.
For sure. Anyway, Avengers Endgame, the directors, Joe and Anthony Russo, will be hosting a panel at Hall H for San Diego Comic-Con 2019, which is happening in 2 weeks.
Which is where they're going to announce Phase 4.
Everything's coming. This is going to be that picture of the back,
the timeline
with all the logos.
Yeah.
And then they're going to introduce some new stars and yeah. So yeah, I mean, are we excited for this? They've been missing for the last 2 years.
Yes, because Disney has been pushing them to the D23 Expo, which if you guys want to go, tickets are still available. Just thought I'd put you the pressure on
for next year.
For this year.
Nah, it's okay.
I don't know if I'm excited because I felt like Endgame was such a good closure for a lot of the arcs. And I was not planning on seeing Far From Home, but I went on a spoiler bender the other day. And actually I think I'm going to watch it.
You're going to watch?
Yeah, the spoilers are making me so interested to watch it. And I was actually going to do a thing after the end of the show where I write the spoilers on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and we open it a week from now to see if the spoilers were correct.
Actually, we should.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just to like see whether the predictions are right.
What? You're going to write down the spoilers?
Write down what he thinks is going to be in the movie.
And then I'm going to put it in an envelope.
And then seal it.
And then we're going to open it.
Just leave it here in the studio and then open it up next week. Yeah. That's not a bad idea. More on Avengers Endgame, although not really much about the movie. The actor who plays Morgan Stark, the little girl who's 7 years old, named Lexi Rabe, she's come out with a video saying that, look, I know I'm 7 and, people mess up. And this is in response to fans, people who like rush to her and like demand photos. And I mean, this is a kid. Like, I don't know. This is just ugly. Thinking of this and the state of where fandom is at this point. Why would you do that?
Yeah, having gone to a couple of conventions in the West, I'm not going to name the country, but there are some fans who are just complete jerks. And it doesn't matter who the star is. They has this sense of entitlement that I paid for a ticket to your movie and I'm entitled to an autograph or a picture. And it came to the point where when I was at a Star Wars convention 2 years ago, the first one I went to, Felicity Jones just stopped taking photos altogether.
So like they spoiled it for everyone.
Yeah, Felicity Jones stopped taking photos altogether because she was apparently being, like, people were crossing lines.
Like they were harassing her.
Yeah. And the same thing happened this year with Peter Mayhew. So Peter Mayhew has been going through a lot of physical pain the last couple of years, and I believe he was on medication. He wasn't moving a lot. And there was tons of fans going on social media saying, I want my money back, etc., etc. 2 weeks later, he passed away.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
It's just terrible.
This reminds me of some of these YouTube personalities who end up putting the videos online where people find out where they live for real.
Yeah.
And then you have the parents of, some of these fans are kids, right? And they're going there, they have their picket signs. Oh, we want to take a photo with you. And then the parents say, it's all right, you can stay here, there's nothing wrong. You pay their salary or something like that. Like that sense of entitlement is just wrong.
Yeah.
Here's something that's not wrong. Ghostbusters, which is getting a sequel. It's the original timeline movie. Paul Rudd has joined the cast.
It's getting interesting.
Yeah, it's getting interesting. He's going to be playing a teacher. So I'm guessing he's the teacher of the 4 kids that they were casting a couple of months ago.
Right.
And we now have an official title. It's going to be called Ghostbusters 2020. I mean, that's not an imaginative title at all.
Is that the title? I thought that just means because it's coming out next year.
We now have the official title of Ghostbusters 2020.
Well, it kind of makes sense.
I guess so.
Maybe it's
Wonder Woman is 1984. So.
Exactly. So it's all about dates now, or this could be like a double entendre where it's like 2020, like Vision.
Yeah, could be.
Could be. We don't know. Let's talk about Disney and their relentless attempt to keep making live-action versions of their classic cartoons. The latest is Little Mermaid, and they are angling for Melissa McCarthy to play Ursula.
I see it.
I see it. I really do. But then again, the question still is...
How would they do that?
How would they do it?
I mean, they did Aquaman, right?
Yeah, they did Aquaman.
Yeah, but she has like octopus legs.
Okay, fine. They made Will Smith into a genie.
Yeah, it's not impossible, guys.
They can do it.
Yeah.
The question now is,
so
should
ugly.
they be doing it?
I have not had the chance to see Aladdin. I've just been so busy. But I'm not excited for Lion King.
I am.
Yeah, that's coming out in like mid-July.
Yeah, there's some
Early
clips
July,
came out, and it just looks like whenever the lions talk, it's like somebody's voiceover narrating a documentary. I can't do it.
They should have just gotten like David Attenborough to.
Yeah. In this, we see the lions.
But there's a sneak peek of the soundtrack, Circle of Life by Childish Gambino and Beyonce.
No, you mean Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah, for somebody who's not going to watch it, I do know a lot. Yeah, I heard that one. It's all right.
Here's something that was also alright. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. That came out 2 years ago. It stars Kevin Hart and The Rock, if you don't already know. It was okay. Like, it was a decent movie, I guess. It was not the greatest, but it was fine. It's getting a sequel. We already know this, and the title may have leaked. It might be called Jumanji: The Next Level.
That's nice. I like that title.
Because it's a video game now, right? And
I like that title.
And they're all back, so this makes sense.
Jumanji is actually... I owe Jumanji my life because they came out the same weekend as The Last Jedi. Yeah, and I was like, you know what? This movie destroyed me, so I need to watch something to recover.
Something light.
Yeah, and Jumanji. So this year it's coming out the same day as Episode 9. If Abrams pulls a Rian Johnson, I know what movie I'm watching.
So that's your lifeline right
there.
there.
Yeah, literally.
That's your one-up.
Yeah.
Okay. Tibby, excited for Jumanji?
What's the girl's name? Nebula?
What is her name?
Nebula? You mean Karen Gillan?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see her if she's in this.
You should watch Doctor Who. She had a starring role in Doctor Who.
Yep.
I've never watched Doctor Who.
Man, you're missing out. It's an amazing show.
Ever. Not
this
even
is
one
not
episode.
going to turn into a Doctor Who podcast.
It's an amazing...
Anyway, that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew podcast. Check us out at our contact links and social media down below. And let's get to our first quick review of Avengers End Game, the re-release, which is happening right here in Brunei and all over the world. Let's face it, we know why Disney and Marvel are doing this. They just need to creep up another $50 million or so to catch up to the biggest movie of all time, which is Avatar. I've been looking at the numbers and they don't seem very promising.
How much did the re-release make?
Well, as of today, which is actually like Friday's numbers in the US, I think it's creeped up by another 30 mil.
Right.
So it's still about 30-ish mil off of Avatar. I have not watched the re-release in cinemas. TV has it as well.
I've seen it.
Khai saw it yesterday. Let's get your take on whether or not this is something that fans should or should not go and see.
All right. So the main motivation behind this re-release is just for me to rewatch Endgame. I only was able to watch it 4 times in the cinema. I wanted
only.
Yes.
Okay.
So did I. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. I wanted to hit 5 to 6 at least. Right. And I walked in. I thought, okay. So I missed the opening bit, which was apparently a thank you by director Anthony Russo. By the time I walked in, Hawkeye's family was getting vacuumed. And I was like, oh, okay. And again, I enjoyed the movie.
By the Roomba.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. And I still got super emotional at the exact same parts I always do. when the credits started rolling, I thought, okay, let's see what we have in store. And again, I walked in just to watch this movie, but I was so mad when I saw that the quote-unquote special stuff. I thought this was the most, I'm so sorry to say this is the least tasteful cash grab I've ever seen. I was like, what?
You mentioned like off the air before we recorded, you said it was like lazy.
It really is. Okay.
Is this
so
the Hulk part?
So the first thing you see is a Stan Lee tribute, which feels so out of place at the post-credits because it should be in the beginning, right? Like, it really sets the tone because, it's an emotional farewell, and this is also an emotional movie. That's honestly a nice bit, but I can see it being included on a Blu-ray or online at some point.
Like a special feature.
Yeah, like a featurette, which is basically the late Stan Lee narrating how lucky he feels to have been part of this, creating this world, how he never would have thought that, these characters would start getting their billion-dollar movies. Like, I'm sure it was a surreal experience for him doing all these cameos, and you could see the Marvel stars just kind of gets really humbled in this presence. So it's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. The second one, which was the most useless thing I've seen in the entirety of my existence, is it's a clip of the Hulk, which is just before he gets a call from Captain America. But this clip was not even complete. It's unrendered, un-CGI. So it's literally just... What's the name of the actor in Die Hard who was the cop on the other side? He's been in Brooklyn Nine-Nine before.
Van something.
The
chubby guy.
Yeah.
Because he made a
the
cameo.
the father from Family Matters,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was the fireman.
The fire chief.
The fire marshal,
Okay.
I was just like, okay, so the Hulk saves a family, Reginald Vel Johnson. I believe that was the actor.
Yep.
The Hulk saves some people, and then he's talking to the Hulk, and the Hulk gets a call, and he goes, Stephen who? Like, which Stephen? I'm not going to Stephen Rogers, obviously. So this is before the diner in where they see Scott. And I thought this was the most garbage scene they could have thought to put in. I was like, what is even the point of this stupid scene? I was so mad. Like, give me a scene that has some weight in the film. This is like a throwaway scene that nobody cared about. Give me the scene between Tony Stark and grown-up Morgan Stark. Like, give me something.
And he's wearing like the purple suit, right?
The compression suit,
the one that we saw on the toys.
Yeah, and also at the end when he puts on the nano gauntlet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I was like, what is this nonsense? Like, give me an important scene. Okay, so that was like the second bit. And the third and final bit was a 30-second teaser from Spider-Man Far From Home, which is coming out in 2 days. So I was so mad that I stayed to the credits. This is so ridiculous.
But then, you can't get mad because you spent 3 hours watching
I did.
it.
I enjoyed the movie, but they shouldn't have done this. They really should not have done this. We love you 3000 campaign. Like, clearly you don't love us enough to give us more footage. Cut it out.
Maybe you don't have any more extra footage.
They shot 700 hours of footage.
That's a lot of hours.
Yes,
Lots
because
of cuts.
of the alternate takes and everything. They have at least So I think it was Anthony Mackie who said that there was a 5-hour cut. The prime cut is 5 hours,
And then they cut from
they cut from there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a lot of
I would gladly watch it.
Let's hope that's on the Blu-ray.
I would gladly watch it.
Yeah. So, yay or nay for the cinematic release?
No,
Not worth it?
But again, being in Asia, it stopped playing in a lot of cinemas.
Already.
Like in America, it's still playing.
Yep.
So if you want to watch Endgame again, go ahead.
Okay, but better wait for the home release.
Sure, we're 2 months away. Less than that.
Yeah, we're 2 months, less than 2 months away. All right, so thanks for that. And up next is another quick review of another movie that me and Tibby saw today called Yesterday. It's a movie by Danny Boyle, and it's set in the UK, and it's about a struggling artist who has been trying very, very hard to make it in the music world, but he's just not being picked up. Maybe because of, I don't know, maybe because of a lack of talent or whatever it is. He has a manager played by Lily James.
Yes.
Who
is pretty.
She's
pretty.
Yeah, she's a nice next door neighbor girl kind of looking person. Mm-hmm. And he ends up in an accident.
The whole world shuts down.
The whole world shuts down for like 12 seconds. It goes dark and he ends up being hit by a bus. And when he wakes up and he gets better, he realizes that no one has any recollection of the Beatles. And that's where this movie takes off, because it's in the trailers. He starts masquerading as someone who writes the Beatles songs, and they're the greatest songs of all time.
Yeah.
And he becomes rich and famous, and he goes off to LA to start a career. And that's where this movie really is. It's good.
It's good.
I'm so sad I didn't get to watch it today. The Beatles are my favorite band. And I'm so sad.
We laughed a lot in the cinema.
It's funny and stupid, but good at the same time.
Funny, stupid. I mean, the premise is but the acting is good.
Yeah.
For a first-time actor,
Wait, no, he's not.
No,
a first-time
he's a
actor.
mainstay on British television.
Yeah, but
Life of Pi.
for a feature film,
Yeah.
Life of Pi.
Life of Pi was him.
I've never seen it.
I think it's him.
I'm not sure.
I might be wrong.
Anyway,
Double check that.
before you watch this movie, I think you need to have some inkling of knowledge of the Beatles, because if you walk in blind, as I can imagine some 15-year-old,
I made a mistake.
you
It's
made a
not
mistake. If you're 15 and if you've never heard of the Beatles, first of all, what's wrong with you? And secondly, you will not get this movie at all, because there's references to pop culture and the Beatles having been the biggest thing in the world at one point in the 60s when they broke out and they went to the US and they created this whole thing.
There was a term called Beatlemania
Beatlemania.
to describe this.
I mean, I have a younger sister who is 24, and I was watching a documentary about the Beatles, I think last year, and she was shocked. She's like, who are these guys? I mean,
What?
I know they're the Beatles, but why are they being chased around the streets, and why
This same sister that I'm... Oh, okay, she's getting a scolding later. What documentary were you watching?
I can't remember what it was, but it was something about the 60s.
Oh, was it a hard... no, it was the
Yes,
one, Ron Howard, 8 days a week.
I think it was that. Oh, it was another one called A Hard Day's Night.
Oh, right.
And it chronicled the Beatles from the time they played in that little cellar
In
in Liverpool,
Yeah.
and then
to
all the way
to
up.
Hamburg, to all
That's
the...
right,
yeah.
to the Ed Sullivan Theatre.
Right.
It chronicled the whole thing, and even up
I've
to...
watched every single Beatles documentary. They're amazing.
They were one of the first acts, I think, in the US to play at stadiums, baseball stadiums.
They did, yes.
And it was something that they thought that they couldn't do,
Yeah.
but...
60,000 people.
Yep.
They set the record.
They set the record, and
amazing.
they paved the way for concerts today as we know it. Yeah, so Tibby, your thoughts about Yesterday?
Without trying to spoil as much,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I feel indifferent about the Beatles. I think they're okay, and I mostly know most of the songs because most of them are the ones that were really a big hit. So I was able to sing along when I can. I enjoyed Himesh Patel's portrayal of his character Jack Malik. He's funny. He was especially never mind. Khai hasn't watched it.
Yeah.
I feel the chemistry was there between Lily James and I just said his name. Himesh Patel.
Himesh
Patel.
Patel, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like they belong with each other in this movie, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought this was going to be one of those happy
cheesy kind of movies.
I might fall asleep, but no, I enjoyed it throughout the movie.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just...
Oh wait, Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran in this movie is amazing.
Yes.
He is one of the best parts of this movie.
Yes.
Because it's in the trailers. We're not spoiling this for Khai.
Yeah.
I
thought he was going to be just one scene.
Yeah, like one
and he's
scene.
not. He's like one. He has a lot of scenes.
Yeah. He becomes like a guide to the main character at one point. Yeah, so Yesterday, it's directed by Danny Boyle, someone who has directed some of, I think, his movies over the last 20 years, they're up there. Like Trainspotting and...
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird though. I remember there's one scene at the beach. The camera angle was like diagonal.
Yeah.
Is it his trademark?
He does sort of those weird Dutch angles where he's
Yeah,
like
it's
doing
just-
this.
yeah.
He does a lot of experimental shots. And
I
you
was
see a lot
like,
of that.
is there a purpose for this angle? It's like, no, it's okay.
Not really. Art.
Yeah,
He did it for the arts.
Yes.
Your rating, TB, for Yesterday?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I will give this movie 9 Beatles out of 10
Nice.
because it's good.
Okay, I'm trying to watch it tomorrow.
If I said that Bohemian Rhapsody was good, this movie is amazing.
Really?
What? Really?
It's amazing.
I don't think this is above Bohemian Rhapsody though.
I prefer this.
Have you rewatched Bohemian Rhapsody?
I
Tibi?
have.
Tibi.
No.
I think when you rewatch it, it loses a bit of
It
value.
loses it.
But then if I watch, I don't know. If I watch both twice, maybe it'll probably have the same effect.
There's only room for one drama queen.
Because
in
you
this
don't
bandana.
rewatch
I
movies.
don't watch
Yeah,
rewatch
you
movies.
don't.
Yeah, I never understand that. I hear it. I don't understand you, Tibi. You're an enigma to me.
You are 1 out of 3 in this room.
Yeah.
look at that collection.
I've seen Bohemian 4 times now.
Okay.
All right. So that's our review of Yesterday. Do check it out as it is still showing here in local cinemas. Up next.
Oi, Apa liat-liat? Apa liat-liat? Hoi, 看什么看？ Apa liat-liat?
Apa liat-liat?
你看什么看？
Apa liat-liat? See what see? 笑了。
Yep, it's Apa Liat Liat, and it's what else we've been watching this week, besides Yesterday and Avengers End Game Re-release. First up, it's Tibby.
I haven't finished watching all the series that I've watched. Wait, I have. There's one. How to Sell Drugs Online. Did I say that last time?
No.
So it's a German drama series
On Netflix.
It's about a high school kid who just broke up with the girlfriend,
Okay.
and the girlfriend ends up with this cool kid in school who's athletic and also at the same time the drug dealer in the school.
Oh, yeah, it's
nice.
always the popular kids.
Yeah, and then he's like, no, I should be, because he thought the girl is interested in him because he could provide drugs. So he started his own thing online with his crippled best friend, who's
Okay.
also a coder. So he read up some online ways on to sell drugs, and then ended up connecting with actual drug dealers. And then it's like, oh, your stuff is not great, you should use mine. And he uses Grab Share to go all the way to Holland to meet up a drug dealer. It's like, oh, try this.
Love it.
Yeah, and then
It's crazy. This sounds insane.
yeah, so far it's interesting, but I've never watched anything in German, so it was a bit hard for me to adjust, I guess.
Oh, so it's in German, but you get subtitles.
yeah,
right?
it gets subtitles,
Okay.
but it was a first time for me.
I see it on my suggested feed on Netflix, and I'm thinking, should I? Not yet.
The main protagonist is not likable though.
Oh, it's not likable.
It's like he's so stupid.
Oh, no.
Like he's he's smart and stupid at the same time, so that's why I don't like him.
But he kind of has to be if he wants to be in this kind of.
Yeah, I guess so.
Story.
For the story, so I'm watching it for the story, I guess.
Okay, cool. Khai, apa liat?
So I have watched a few movies in the cinema the last week or so, but I've just been so busy I couldn't watch a lot. I've seen Toy Story 4, which I watched twice. And
That's a first for you
To watch
for a
those.
Toy Story movie.
yeah, no, it's amazing. I watched it twice in the same day.
What?
I couldn't stop crying. I'm sorry,
I
man.
watched it with you, right?
No, you didn't.
No, I
You watched
didn't.
with
I
you watched
it-
with Kevin.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I couldn't stop crying. That ending was so beautiful. And I know like you guys didn't feel the same way emotionally. I suppose.
Not as emotional for those bits. I'm like, all right, it was an okay movie.
Right. I watched Chucky with Tibby.
Me.
I really like that movie.
Most useless movie.
Okay. So
Well, we have varying
no,
opinions here.
because I like slasher movies. I enjoy gore. So
I still can't imagine how can someone just not shut a doll down.
Tibby, it's easy to say. Saying is simple. Doing
the
is
head off.
difficult. So I really enjoyed Child as Play, and then I am supposed to watch Annabelle today, but we have some other stuff to do.
Okay.
So I've also been watching Stranger Things season 2 again because we have season 3 coming very soon.
4th of July.
4th
Yeah.
of July, which I believe is a Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wait, it's next week.
Yes.
Okay, I need
Thursday.
to get into that as well.
Yeah.
Just to recap.
And then I have also been rewatching the Bourne movies. So I go through this cycle every year. I watch action movies nonstop. So I'm on the Bourne franchise right now. I'm gonna start Bourne Ultimatum, the third one. It's amazing.
That's the best one
Yes.
because it got better.
Yes, it did. It really
you went
peaked
along.
at number 3. It was
Peaked
so
at
good.
3, and then the fourth movie was the one with
yeah.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, and then the fifth one.
Fifth was Matt Damon.
Yeah,
back
so
again.
I only got 1, 2, 3, and 5. I didn't get 4.
The third one was the one where he jumped through the window and then jumped through the
yes.
other window.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
Fight scenes are a little bit too close though for my liking.
That's what Paul Greengrass was aiming for.
And that was the one that set the standard for today. Like that
Yep.
shaky cam fight scene. I hate it.
Jackie
but
Chan
love-
would say like, "Oh, if you do that, it's you don't know how to fight."
Yes, because that's Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
He's been his own stuntman for 40 years.
Yeah.
yeah, but the Bond movies, like they really put the whole tight quarters
Oh,
fighting
yeah.
thing, and then
Yeah.
sound is a big part of the Bond movies. If you
I don't know,
notice,
those close-up shots make me want to vomit, like motion sickness. Not
Oh.
because it's bad. It's
Okay.
the camera's too shaky.
So, what about Cloverfield?
I only watched the first one and I had to pause.
I love
Oh.
that movie.
The first
I
one.
love it.
I actually like all 3.
Yeah, okay. The third one, the Netflix.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was alright. I was like, oh, okay, I like it.
the third one was like a last minute connect to the first. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I had to pause.
You had
like
to pause.
halfway, I needed to take a nap to get rid of the motion sickness and then power through after that.
Did you guys know that when Cloverfield played here in Brunei, I went to watch it in the cinema, and it was only like 4 people in the cinema.
I believe that because
Yeah.
I watched it in the cinema.
Because what happened was that when they played the first show the day before, people went in like maybe half the cinema, and they didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what it was a first person movie, and then they complained. Some people vomited, and they all came out and said, "We want our money back."
Yes.
So they had like a disclaimer when you said, "I wanted to watch Cloverfield." And okay, just so you know, this movie is in first person and it's like there's really shaky cam, and we will not refund if you get sick.
Here's some more background on that. So Cloverfield was initially called 1/18/08,
Okay.
which is 18th of January 2008. And for 2 months before Cloverfield came out, there were so many viral. So it was crazy viral marketing.
This was the first movie to use viral marketing.
Second, technically, because The Dark Knight did it, but it came out before The Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah.
So it just went all out, and people were super excited. And then the name Cloverfield just came out a week before the film. They called it Cloverfield, and then I went to watch it, and I loved it. I watched it at the mall, and it was amazing, right? And the crazy part is the director Matt Reeves is now making the Batman.
Yep.
Like, that is a crazy career trajectory. Like, J.J. Abrams produces a movie you make,
Yeah.
and you go on to make the Batman. It's just so good. Like, I love the story.
That was when J.J. Abrams was just stepping into films.
Because he
Yes.
had not even made Star Trek yet.
Yep, not yet.
He had just the first movie he had ever done at that point was Mission Impossible 3.
And this was like his first foray. The Bad Robot label was first out.
Yeah, going into film.
And he's like making his name as a film director as opposed to having done TV
Yes.
for many, many years. All right, Cloverfield. I'll watch that again soon. Moving on to me. I have not watched a lot, although I have started watching a show on Netflix called The Confession Tapes.
What it's about?
Is this about
It's about
Ted Bundy?
criminals.
Oh.
I can't say a lot about it because I'll give it away.
Okay.
Essentially, it's just the tapes and recordings of confessions of crimes, and it's so
Dark.
so dark.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Sounds like something I would watch.
Yeah.
Have you seen Mindhunters?
No, I've not.
Okay, so
I've not. I also started watching Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's not that
It's like
bad.
while you eating,
Yeah.
like having lunch, dinner.
While you're doing something else, you just have it on. I did not know that it was a Canadian sitcom.
Yeah, it's a Canadian.
sitcom. But the accents are really, 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 they're really put on.
You have to put your mind over it. Like,
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the episode this week on the Wayang Crew podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Next week, we'll be giving you a review of Spider-Man Far From Home. It's showing here in Brunei Cinemas next week, so do check us out. I'd like to thank Tibby and Khai, my co-hosts, for joining me. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.